From the standpoint of the Bible, what do the churches today look like? Compared to some of the things that Paul wrote about the churches he was talking to. How does the church look now?
Well, I don't think if there's a whole lot of difference when you really look at it. Because Paul had to get on some 4 cases. He talked to the church in Corinthians and a lot of different cities, and he got on those churches' cases. And he could not be at one place. He was a church establisher. He placed Timothy and other folk to pastor churches. And when he would have to come back, he had to talk to that church. I think our church needs to be talked to, and I think that now we've gotten so independent until now we believe that one pastor feels as though nobody can tell him or give him instructions on how to handle a church. I think in a Methodist church that's different. I think the Catholic church is different. I think the Lutheran church is different. But there's too many independent churches. They want to do it their way. I don't think doing it my way ought to be. There's 2 pastors in Alabama that I always consult with and give. When I think of something God have, I believe, shared it with me, I call them up and I talk to them. They pray about it. Sometimes they call me back and we discuss it. Sometimes they give me ideas while I'm talking to them. Sometimes they can plug things together for me to give me a clearer understanding. And sometimes I've been told, Reverend, that ain't quite sounding right. Then that take me to go back into prayer. Then I pray, and then I find God revealing things to me that I misheard what God was saying. So I think pastors and people that of God, you got to challenge yourself to be sure that you're sure. And you can't expect God to talk to you just out of heaven. I think there are people that in your life that God speaks to, even unbeknownst to them, if you ask, will give you an idea and enter something in your mind that you wasn't aware of. And I think God got people around us that will do that. And my desire is I want to be like that blind man that Jesus saw. He walked by. The blind man was just there. What if the man knew Christ was coming? I don't know. But the disciples asked Jesus, who did sin? Was it his mother or parents, or was it him? At the beginning of that, the blind man didn't say anything. He obeyed what Jesus said. But Jesus asked the question to the disciples. Neither he or his father, neither his mother or he sinned to cause his blindness. Sometimes I think people are born with gifts and talents, and those gifts and talents they have, I want to hear from them because I ain't got them. And when Jesus instructed that man, he spit on the ground, made clay and put it on his eyes, and told him to go walk to the school of Siloam. He was blind. He got there. He washed his eyes. He obeyed Christ. And he came back seeing. I think we're being disobedient. I think when you can get to so independent, you can become arrogant, self-centered, all about you, because used to folk responding to you. And I think preachers ought not lead folk like they got to respond to me. I think we just like they are. We just happen to want to preach the word of God. But it don't mean God give us the supernatural power that folk ought to just listen to us. We ought to listen to them as well, because it's really all about God.
Well, I think that just about says it all.
Well, the only thing, Mike, I want to make it very clear that the way I feel, I'm not depressed, I'm hurt, I'm angry, I'm disappointed. I'm angry because when God called you to do something, you didn't want to do it. I don't know nobody gonna get so excited about doing what God said do. He's God. So I have challenged preachers. Do I want to do it? No. I'm a pastor. I want to just love them and be with a pastoral group that we all on the same page, enjoying each other. And for me to have to say what I've said, and I know how they're going to feel, they're going to be angry, they're going to be upset. Those that will be, it's like a pile of dogs you would see in a group. You throw a rock, the one that you hit is going to cry out. So every pastor that responds negative, I think, to my comments, I think there's going to be some guilt basically pulling out, and they're going to be attacking me. I've been threatened by pastors right in this time.
Threatened?
I've been threatened. I've been told they're going to whoop my butt. I won't say who they were, but they told me that. They were supposed to couple of them were supposed to pay crackheads, they so said, to come and attack me to discover was I gay or not. If I was gay, it wouldn't be no crackhead. And if I'm gay or not, I know where I am. I am not, but I don't give a red nickel what folks think. I really don't. And it's not, they should not, and to criticize me for that, they do it because I don't mess around with women. I honor them. Two things that really get on my nerves real quick with anybody to bring somebody to me you never see before. If you're putting your hands on kids and disrespecting women, I can't stand it. I've been raped by 2 men and I've been molested. I know I got a good idea how women must feel. I honor women. I love them. I respect them. And I think they should be treated like jewels. I think that's what they are. And children is our little precious jewel. And I think when they get the age of 2, they ought to see us in a way that they will grab it and take it on. I spend time with my little grandbaby. He's 2 years old. When I learned if I stick with him at 2, by the time he gets 16, I'll be in my 70s, and I'm gonna need me a driver. He'll just get licensed. I plan to have me a nice car where he gonna enjoy driving to show me around. But then I know by the time he get 21, he gonna want me to co-sign to get him a car to get away from me. So to me, that's just how it goes. But now I gotta spend my time loving him and showing him a man. Knowing when to get on them and knowing how to become that role model for them.
Is that maybe too where we're missing the boat with young people today? Why we have problems with them?
That's why we have problems with it. And I think we got a generation. I know God is able to do anything, but I think as humans we have failed, and if we lose 1 or 2 generations, it's our fault, not God. For God told us what to do. And I think in order to change it, we got to start focusing on those babies. Particularly when they hit that 2 years of age, we got to start really showing them. We can't show them 5 women coming out of our homes or drinking and smoking in front of them. They got to see a woman and a man that they know how to go about doing it. And that's what we got to work on, to be sure that this get cleared up. And right now, I don't know if we can clear it up or not. I pray that God does something. But when I talk to young folks today, when they talk to me, my heart is so hurt. I hear what they're saying. And I think they're in a place now, it's hard for them. They hear you, but that fear that they have within them is great. It's off the charts. It's off the charts. And when I stopped at a gas station going to Alabama on Paulin Road, Tillman and Anthony, and I don't tell this story often, but this young man was pumping his gas, I was pumping mine, and all of a sudden, I spoke to him, he started talking to me, and he the one that told me, Reverend, you know, we do what y'all do, we do with guns. And I turned around to talk to him, and he in the car was gone. I'm not going to tell anybody God did something, a miracle. I just know I saw him, I saw his car, I can't describe the car to you. I see his face, but I do know after I turned, I don't know how long a turn that was, put my thing in my car, pumping my gas, it could have been when he left at a certain time and I didn't know it, but I thought it was a short conversation and the gas time was short, but next thing I know, I turned around, that young man was gone. And he left me baffled with what he said to me. He left me baffled. And as a pastor, he helped me to see what I need to do and how I need to do it differently. And there's a lot of young folk out there, I think in meetings we have meetings about crime. How can you talk about crime and killing if you ain't talking to the people that actually involved in it?